IW just gave us our first look at the Season 2 update, what we're getting for multiplayer, Battle Royale, DMZ, all different modes here, an outline of what they're going to be focusing on for this major update. They're, giving us a lot of information here on what we're seeing. The full reveal is coming very soon, of course, but they do give us a lot of stuff, so we're going to break it all down in this video. By the way, I just uploaded a video on the new update live in the game right now. If you want to check that out, links are down below. Let's go through here. This is the first time they're ever doing this type of blog post, the path to Season 2 community update. I mean, the first time I'm ever seeing this here. So let's go through first global changes for Season 2. We have crashes and stability. We remain dedicated to improving the overall stability and performance of our games, including reduced crashes across all platforms and titles. Expect the Season 2 patch notes, which will release probably the day or 2 days before the full update comes out, to further detail specific bug fixes and changes ahead of February 15th when Season 2 releases. For audio changes here, they're saying that some PC players may be experiencing some audio issues due to discrepancies in the number of channels they are outputting, so they're working on that. Investigation into player reports regarding audio led us to identify a previously unknown issue, so I'm not going to read through all this there. They're fixing audio problems with the game, so we'll see that with Season 2's update. For some user interface changes, this is pretty important. A number of UI UX updates are coming to Season 2 to improve the overall flow of in-game menus. So let's see what they have here. Improved navigation and organization of camo menu. That's good to see. More polished social tab, including improved channel swapping and player muting. Good to see as well. New My Bundles screen. That is a big W there. Quick equip items from Battle Pass, My Bundles, and Store. Finally, reticle previews in Store and Gunsmith. Improved clarity of attachment blocking logic in Gunsmith, and many more bug fixes. So glad they're finally taking a look at the UI here and improving a bunch of stuff. That is definitely really cool to see. Also, some fixes here for instant speed of recent players in menu and status refresh of friends. Experience changes here, improved after action report with audio, play again feature in Battle Royale, bug fixes for inconsistencies between challengers, battle pass, and weapon progression. Weapon balance updates coming soon as well. Weapon balance is something we are always analyzing, and we'll be balancing weapons for Season 2 just like any other seasonal or mid-season update. Details on weapon balancing can be found in the upcoming Season 2 launch patch notes. We're excited to discuss some changes to armor below that will make for more consistent engagement in Warzone 2. Now, first up here for the Battle Royale stuff, and then we'll go through DMZ and multiplayer changes as well. We have an update to the Gulag. Of course, they announced we're getting a 1v1 Gulag returning with Season 2. We have the original Warzone overtime mechanic, the domination-style flag control point, in place of the jailer. In order to bring this change online sooner, we have edited the existing Season 1 Gulag for better 1v1 combat, but are actively working on a dedicated 1v1 map for future seasons. So right now it's going to be the same map, but eventually they'll have a dedicated, smaller, probably 1v1 map, which is good to see. We have some changes to the Gulag experience as well. Ground loot has been revisited, as well as loadouts that players will spawn in with. Updated the pool to include assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs as primary weapons as the circle progresses. Shotguns have been removed from the rotation, while handguns will remain available as secondary weapons. For those leaving the arena victorious, the Gulag will grant a larger cash reward to players. This change to cash will allow redeploying players to get back on their feet a bit faster. Also pretty cool to see. Alongside increased victory cash rewards mentioned in the previous section, the Gulag will now spawn cash as ground loot to encourage and reward players willing to prowl the arena instead of camping in the back of their spawn, which is also cool as well. An update to the cash economy. We're balancing the Battle Royale economy with slight reduction to cash rewards for completing contracts. Additionally, we are increasing the lowest value of cash piles from ground loot to $800 from the cash registers to $500, previously $100 minimum. So less cash from contracts, more overall cash from loot. I guess that's cool there. Cash can be acquired via ground loot containers and white Stronghold supply boxes throughout Al Mazrah, but can no longer be found in basic and legendary supply boxes. This redistribution should make for quicker, more consistent gameplay in the pursuit of resources. Cool stuff there. Now for updates to loot and inventory, they're shifting away from loot windows and menus to floating loot that will now drop out of the containers in the world, similar to loot from supply boxes. Of course, we saw this in Warzone 1. This is to improve the pace of gameplay by minimizing time spent navigating the the UI and getting players back into the action faster. We were excited to see the new backpack system give players the agency to customize their inventory for a desired playstyle or role within a squad. In our continued effort to balance engagement, medium-large backpacks will no longer be available, and eliminated players will drop loot onto the ground rather than loot-filled backpacks. Interesting stuff here. Every player will have the same backpack throughout the entire game, which will subsequently reduce the impact of stacking medical supplies, equipment, and kill streaks. Pretty cool stuff here overall. I mean, this is addressing a lot of the complaints that people had with Warzone and stacking that type of stuff in super large backpacks. We will continue to look for feedback, stuff like that for looting. Cool stuff there again. For loadouts here, it's been a core part of Warzone's BR and something we pay close attention to. The changes players have seen with the launch of Warzone 2 and since then have ultimately been in pursuit of the most fulfilling experience for the individual and the team, all while keeping things challenging. As such, we're making further changes to how players acquire part of or the entirety of their loadouts. So Season 2 will introduce customizable perk packages. This feature will launch with a slightly reduced pool of available perks, which we may slowly reintroduce over time. We want to navigate this particular feature as carefully as possible, ensuring that all available perks provide ample utility and remain viable and balanced options. Primary weapons will continue to be available at buy stations, but now at a more affordable price point. Cool to see, so that players can pursue victory with their most desired weapons. We remain happy with the introduction of loadout drop markers. We've taken a careful look at the price point. The price of loadout drop markers have been slightly reduced so that the respective squad sizes can acquire their full loadouts at a faster pace. In addition, in extremely rare occasions, players may find one while looting throughout Al Mazrah. A second loadout drop public event has been added, which means the drops will now happen on the 1st and 5th circles each match. Some more big changes here. I mean, a huge overhaul here with Warzone 2 3-plate vest update. We're continuously evaluating the pace of combat engagements and have decided to make a change. All players will now start with a 3-plate vest. Varying sizes of vests will no longer exist in Battle Royale loot. This standardization will bring a more reliable feel to each engagement from the get-go, and they'll continue to look at data and optimize. So crazy stuff here. Movement as well. We made an important tweak to movement that should yield better outcomes for players in combat. Players will be able to bust through doors while plating the way they would if they were sprinting. This change includes a slight increase to movement speed while plating to enable players to get to cover faster in moments of need. Great change there. We have some buy station changes here. In order to make buy stations and their goods easier to access, we've revamped our approach. Spawn locations have been added, adjusted. Spawns will be stacked across the map, and loadout drop markers have unlimited stock at all stations. And again, they'll monitor the global balance of our economy and availability of resources as we move forward. And the final major Warzone change here for Strongholds. Strongholds provide an alternative gameplay experience with a high payoff for those willing to tackle the objective, and for others interested in robbing players of their rewards. We are committed to providing a balanced engagement for players who choose to enter Strongholds. Season 2 will bring changes to the rewards players receive from Strongholds and Black Site completion, as well as additional adjustment to AI combatant damage. So huge, massive changes here with Warzone. Definitely reverting back to more of what we saw back in Warzone 1 Verdansk. Let me know down below your opinions on that. But now for DMZ updates here. First up, for enemy tuning. In Season 1, the AI and DMZ were challenging, but the ramp-up of difficulty was often steep, with some players getting overwhelmed. For Season 2, we've introduced a number of balance changes to adjust the types of AI spawning, the number of AI spawning, and the accuracy of AI at range, and much more. Pretty sure just nerfing them overall, which is good to see. They were a bit, overpowered at times. Not too bad, but a bit overpowered. All of this should provide a challenging but manageable play space that still requires player respect of enemy combatants in DMZ. So that's good to see. For spawn points here, we're tuning some of the infill points across Al Mazrah for improved early match experience based on gameplay data. Starting at a point at which your squad feels isolated or without loot or contract opportunities is not the best experience. These tweaks should improve spawn points across the mode. Also a W change. Mission difficulty tuning. Data and feedback reinforced that the faction mission difficulty ramp up was too aggressive for many players, and that the demanding skill ultimately made it more challenging to unlock the second ensured weapon slot, which is completing all tier 3 missions in Season 1. We have adjusted the overall scaling of difficulty in missions as the tiers progress. Later tier missions will still be quite challenging, even for the experienced operator, but we believe more straightforward access to an additional ensured slot will provide a better path forward for all players. For crashes here, we know crashes are especially impactful in DMZ if you lose your items and contraband weapons as a result. Addressing these crashes is a priority in Season 2, and we are committed to increased stability. Stay tuned for that. Seasonal refresh here. All new missions are coming to Season 2, including a refresh of your current faction mission progress and inventory, contraband, and keys reset. We'll be detailing all the need-to-know intel for DMZ ahead of Season 2 in an upcoming blog. Cool stuff there. Of course, again, new location, a new exclusion zone is coming to Season 2. Players will have a third option to choose from when deploying in DMZ. The faction mission refresh will provide new missions that send you across these destinations, including Building 21. So cool stuff there. Now for some multiplayer changes coming with Season 2. First up, for some audio improvements here. As noted in previous updates, one type of our audio occlusion system remained off in multiplayer periodically after launch. Occlusion still existed in multiplayer at this time, but was not the newer and more advanced system. We have spent this time testing and re-implementing that occlusion system and are happy to report that it will be back online at the launch of Season 2. Perk balancing update. We've heard a lot of feedback around the timing of the bonus perks, especially the ghost perk. We looked at swapping this perk's position, but felt this would create severe imbalance in the perk system. I love that they're just saying what they thought about doing and why they decided not to. Just more communication and honesty here is really good to see. But for Season 2, we've updated the rate at which the bonus and the ultimate perks are earned. Reduces bonus perk cost by 50% and ultimate by 25%. This adjustment will allow players to get ghost earlier in matches, which will provide support players looking to engage more aggressively. Again, a W change there overall. Weapon balancing updates, of course, that's not fully available yet. That'll be available in the Season 2 launch patch notes. I'll, of course, go through all of that on the channel. Of course, they already announced Hardcore returning to MW2. It will replace the Tier 1 mode. They're both very similar, but Hardcore is a bit more of a classical feel. That's good to see. For playlists here, they're going to have Valentine's Day playlists returning, MP modes coming in Season 2 in a couple of weeks, and 1 week per month, IW will be creating a Twitter poll for fans to vote on one of that week's playlists from a rotating pool, which is also really cool to see. Ranked play here, of course, is coming with Season 2. That's going to be very exciting as well. And overall, that's pretty much it here for this blog post. Looking ahead, that's that. But, right now, W changes for Warzone, some cool improvements, and, a pretty good overhaul update here. It seems like Season 2 is going to be a major overhaul to this game. But, what I've been saying is that we need more 6v6 content, and I didn't see one mention here of, I guess you're getting 6v6 content with the modes, but they didn't mention MP map at all. I didn't see a single mention of new multiplayer maps, which, again, in my eyes, multiplayer is like the core part of Call of Duty. I know Warzone is huge now, but MP is just the core part, and it always has been, of Call of Duty. And we didn't see one mention of new maps here. Of course, we're getting new maps, and maybe they want to wait to detail what we're getting there, but I really would like to see some information on maps, how many maps we're getting, and stuff like that. But as of now, overall, a pretty good blog post, a good first look at this update. A lot of big changes coming very soon. And of course, this is not the end. We have 3 weeks until the update goes live. I'll be covering all of the new information they reveal to us and show us on the channel. So be sure to subscribe for more MW2, Warzone 2, news update videos like this. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always. And I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.